watching Numbskull News, and today we're talking about the new CFP format. Negotiations are ongoing, which is surprising. All right, it's surprising because I thought the Big Ten and the SEC can just do whatever they want to do, and everyone's going to have to deal with it. They got all the power, they got all the stroke. They were given this by the Big 12, by the ACC, and the Group of Five. They were given everything. So why is there a negotiation? That's a bit strange, isn't it? Well, before I tell you why don't you look down there at the bottom of your screen? Is there a red subscribe button? Why don't you hit that hoe? Just one time. One time for the Gipper. One time for old Numbskull here. Anyway. Why is there any consternation by the Big Ten and the SEC? Are they scared of the Big 12? Are they scared of the ACC? No, they're not. But there are legalities that can happen. They know this. They know there's some pushback that can happen. They know this, especially when it comes to the G5. So what do they need? They need a little bit of cover. They need to look like the good guys, not just the evil turds that they are. So let's try to negotiate a little bit with the Big 12 and the ACC. We need them on board for us getting 4 automatic qualifiers apiece. Now, anybody who's watched this channel, I've kind of been a proponent for the 4-4-2-2-1-3 model. That's, we all know, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. 4 automatic qualifiers for the Big 10 and the SEC, 2 each for the Big 12 and the ACC, 1 for the G5, and 3 at large. And if Notre Dame has the record, has the standing, is having that kind of year, they'll get one of those, and that leaves 2 at larges for whomever. Okay, which I like. You know, I quote the great Point Break, the great 90s movie, Keanu Reeves and Gary Busey. Utah, get me 2. Get me 2. I want 2 automatic qualifiers. However, and I got to give the ACC a little credit coming out of their meetings, they've been like, no, we don't want no 4-4-2-2. We want 3 automatic qualifiers. If you get 4, we should get 3. Utah, get me 3. That's brilliant. So now, as far as we know, what is on the table is the 4-4-3-3-1-1 model. Yeah, the math works out. So anyway, which sounds awesome to me. Thank you, ACC. But there's also something else that has come out that is intriguing as hell. And that is the 4-4-3-2-1-2. Good Lord. Is this an episode of Lost or what? But that model, that's, of course, the Big Ten SEC getting their 4 automatic qualifiers. The ACC and the Big 12 getting 2 each. 1 for the Group of 5. And 2 at large, which Notre Dame could get one of those. But there's an extra automatic qualifier out there. And here's the scenario. The number 3 school in the Big 12 and the number 3 school in the ACC duke it out. They fight it out. The winner gets the automatic qualifier. That's brilliant. If that's what's been thought and is being considered, please, for the love of all, do it. That is amazing. Look, think about it. If we had that this past year, that whole model, the Big 12 would have had Arizona State and Iowa State, the 2 participants in the Big 12 Conference Championship, would automatically get their automatic qualifiers. And then BYU would then face off with Miami. The winner gets in. Holy shit. Now, the Big Ten would have their 4 automatic qualifiers. They already got 4 in. Nothing changes for them. The SEC, Alabama would have found their way in with the 4th AQ spot. Notre Dame would have gotten in, but there'd still be one more automatic qualifier out there. And who gets that? Well, more than likely that would have probably went to the to the SEC, and they would have gotten 5 teams in. It kind of looks like it'd be South Carolina, maybe Ole Miss, somewhere in there. But this shit is intriguing as hell. I love this model where the Big 12 and the ACC duke it out every year for who's going to get the 3rd automatic qualifier. That's brilliant. And if I got to thank Jim Phillips, if I got to thank the leadership in the ACC for being what they are, turds, great. Because y'all just did the Big 12 a big stinking massive favor. Okay. Now that I said my thank yous and I manned up and owned up to it, thank you. Now I'm going to kick you in the junk a little bit, because when Florida State, Clemson, Miami are gone, and who knows about Notre Dame? Chances are they stay independent, but who knows? What happens to these automatic qualifiers? There's a look in 2027, an automatic look in. Is there going to be an announcement by Florida State, Clemson, possibly Miami, by 2027? Very well could be. And then here comes a look in. What happens at that point? Does that extra automatic qualifier just poof go away? I don't think it does. I believe what happens, the Big 12 gets the 3rd. They don't have to play for it. They just get it. The ACC has 2. Why would that happen? Where's your brands? Where's your brands? They all just left. They all just left. Went elsewhere. And it may be announced not long after that Louisville is going to get out of there. They're going to hightail it to the Big 12. Another team. Maybe a couple more than that. See what I'm saying? This is where the caca rolls downhill all over the ACC. That's the true domino effect here, is what is the demolition process of the ACC. The CFP is a big start. But look for that in the future. The Big 12 just gets a 3rd automatic qualifier permanently. But before we get there, look, the Big 12 and the ACC playing for that 3rd automatic qualifier, having, I don't care, 2 or a possible 3rd automatic qualifier for the Big 12 is huge. It is great for this conference. Maximizing exposure is what we need. Next media rights deal that comes up. All of this helps. All right. Right now, we're not getting our full market value, having included 4 Pac-12 schools, Arizona State, Arizona, Utah, and Colorado. We're not even seeing the windfall from that in the Big 12 just yet. And now we got more games. We'll have more CFP games just automatically. Hell yes. Hell yes. Now look, I get told all the time in the comments, well, the Big 12, it's not really a power conference. There's a power 2. This is why I always call them the Big 2, not the power 2, because that whole line of thinking is bullshit. Yes, they make more money. Is there now a bit of a delineation between the Big 2 and the Big 12 and the ACC? Yeah, of course there is. But then again, the Big 12 hasn't fully been elevated to where it's going to be. And the ACC is going to get cut up quite a bit. So the future looks a little bit different. It looks not a power 4, but a power 3. And let me just throw this little tidbit in here right now. It's still a power 4. Power 4 means who is an autonomous conference, not how much money you make, not how many teams get into the CFP every year. That's one sport. Believe it or not, football is only one sport of all the sponsored sports in these conferences. Yes, they're the big money maker. They're the big money driver. They pay for everything else. Outside of basketball, they pay for everything else. However, it may be the most important sport, but it's not the only one. You can't judge it all off of just that. That is short-sighted and dumb. This is a power 4. There are 4 autonomous conferences in this biatch. So, in the words of Dirk Nowitzki, take that with you. Deal with it. Cope. Just a little bit. Anyway, Utah, get me 2 with a possibility for 3. Hell yes. Fully on board here. Numbskull News says, give me all of that all day long. And for you people, no way. The Big Ten and the SEC should get 4. That's ridiculous. Is it? Because chances are almost most years, the SEC only got 3 this year, but most years they will get 4. Most years the Big Ten will get 4. All right, they'll have their off year where it's only 3. So is it really that big a deal that it's an automatic qualifier and they automatically get 4? I don't care. Does this help them go to a 9th conference game in the SEC? Does it help them have non-conference games against each other? Big Ten versus ACC. Or Big Ten versus the SEC. Yeah. And that's their business and that's fine. They have all these monstrous brands that get these huge ratings. The biggest ratings in college football. I get it. Stop being delusional. We should all be equal. Well, we're not completely equal. We're all autonomous. We're all power conference people up in here. But that doesn't mean we're equal. I've never made that case. We're not. The Big Ten and the SEC have been elevated to a different level in which they have earned it. I'm not taking anything away from those conferences or their fans as far as that. The only pushback I've ever given is that doesn't mean you control everything. It doesn't mean there's not consequences for you if you overreach. And ultimately, this is why they haven't just pushed in the 4 automatic qualifiers for themselves. They don't want a bunch of blowback from politicians, from lawyers, from all this bullshit. They want a nice, easy transition to the new CFP format. And the best way to do that is work out something that the Big 12 and the ACC will get on board with and endorse and stand there and take a picture with Tony Petitti and Greg Sankey and company and have a thumbs up. That's what they want. It provides all the political cover, all the lawfare cover, all of that shit. And I'm sure their legal counsels are saying, hey, just give those 2. You don't have to go to the G5 and talk to them. They'll get what they get. But as far as the Big 12 and the ACC go, let's try to massage things and get them on board for you having 4 automatic qualifiers. If that means give them a possible 3rd that they could fight over, throw them the bone. That sounds beautiful to me. I am 1,000% on board with the bone. Give me the bone. I will knock out an ACC person for that bone. And I will back whoever goes against the ACC team. And you know what? Most years, our number 3 can beat their number 3. Do you trust Miami? I trust them to screw off a chance at the CFP, and I would trust BYU to get it done. So I absolutely love it. Give me more exposure. That only helps in 2031 with the new media rights. Every little piece helps the Big 12. Here we go. Let's watch this conference rise. Continue to rise. From the ashes we came, and we will dominate in the future. Anyway, thanks for watching this crap, and I'll be back with more crap later. Bye. South. Fuck me in the ass fucking hole.